Hello, trading has closed on the 4th of June 2024. As always, we will begin with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls and then we'll make some predictions. This is my trading plan for Wednesday, which is the 5th of June 2024. Please remember, my calls can be wrong. Any trade you make should be made at your own risk. Also, I have not been able to follow the market during the day, which is what I usually do. So I'm not playing with all my cards. Bear that in mind if you care to risk money. Today's pattern we said was the one with the early high, and there it is, and tomorrow's pattern should have the early low. We had a target of 52.93.17. We said it didn't have to print today, but normally you didn't have to wait long. Printed right here, came back and then hit that number right on the nose. These numbers aren't just targets, they're also resistance areas, so we have resistance here at this late high. We have a new price target from today's patterns. The target is 52.66.57, and if we don't gap up smartly, that's my call for tomorrow. During the day, MEJT said this rally was not the real thing. Prices retraced. Said this drop wasn't the real thing. Prices retraced. Now says this rally is not for keeps. Gives us the lower target. It's about 25 handles under where we closed. We said we didn't really have a clear plan for today, but it wouldn't surprise me if we closed a little change. Well, we closed under a 0.25%, which is my definition of little change, so I can't call it a call, but we are going to say I wasn't surprised. Well, here's the count I'm using. We have these question marks because it's not really a clear count. There are too many different ways to count it, and this one isn't the only valid count, as we said yesterday. No, it is a valid count, but if that's the end of the fourth wave, we should be seeing a 5-wave impulse here, and I'm just not seeing it. I can talk myself into it, but usually if you have to talk yourself into a count, it's the wrong account. So let's go over a different count, which has this wave, black B, ending right over here. We'll start from the same low in late April. We still have the same A, but instead of this being B, we're going to use the alternate count where there is an ABC, and all those fibs work. And then this would be B, and then wave C is a good Fibonacci 61.8% of A. So if we stop here, there's a perfect ABC pattern using the alternate count, and that would be the end of B. And if that's the right count, which we don't know yet, we should drop, and this B would be here. And if that's the right count, we're going to drop right from the open and get a wave C down pretty comparable to this wave A. And that goes along with the MEJT target of 52.66 plus. Of course, if we gap up, the whole thing falls apart. That you're not going to know till the open. And last time I looked, futures were up, so it's certainly a possibility. We always say if we gap sharply in the undesired direction, that kills the call before the open, and when the call is killed, it doesn't cost anybody any money. But for right now, if this holds, and if we start to drop right from the open, that would give that call credence. I expect we see the MEJT target, and perhaps a bit lower than that before that leg's over. So we're going to have to see if we start to drop from the open, which is what that count suggests is going to happen, or if we continue higher, gap up, put the time frame for this target pushed off into the future, even though it should print at some time. So the opening is going to be critical to me. So Wednesday's pattern has the early low regardless of where we open. Typically it's a rally day with a final hour high, but if it's weak, we should see more weakness after that. We have a lower MEJT target. Unless we gap up smartly, the rules call for it to print. So if things go according to plan, we're going to start to drop from the open, have a weak day tomorrow, follow up with more weakness, with the caveat that we're not going to risk any money on this till we see how we open, because if we gap up smartly, the whole idea is killed before we risk any money. It's the pattern with the early low, and that's today's call.